Some people just want your potential and not your love. They want to take advantage of your position because they want your position. They want you to, like, sometimes people think that the best way to get what you have is to intentionally destroy you or to intentionally rile you up emotionally in the hopes that they can feel some sense of power over you. And the reason that a lot of the people like this just want your potential and not your love is because they don't know how to generate their own self-esteem. They don't know how to authentically be who they are, and they don't know where they are actually at in their life. You know, there's a difference between being who you are and being what you are to some degree. And there's a difference between knowing your place at where you are and knowing who you are and what you're about. So what do I mean by that? Well, to know who you are is essentially your presence. It's your energy. It's the life force that you bring to the table. Whereas the what you are is dependent upon, in many different cases, your status, or it could be dependent upon your ability to be competent in certain areas or have certain skill sets in your life. There's a variety of different ways that you can learn what you are because it's based off of your past experiences and your past accomplishments as well as your past failures. But who you are is something completely different. Who you are is your being. And there's a difference between people wanting you for what you are and people wanting you for who you are. I would rather have people want me for who I am and who I are, I guess you could say, rather than what I am and what I'm about. But I also know that that's not realistic. It's just not realistic. And I consider myself to be a realist. I'm not someone that is overly excited. I'm not someone that's overly down. I'm just kind of neutral most of the time. At least I try to be. And the reason for that is because when I'm too up or too down, there's like an influx that happens, and there's a valueless position that I have. So, for example, when people want to talk about how life is just about to be happy and life is just about being happy, it's like, well, life can be about anything that you really want it to be. When it comes down to it, you can believe whatever you want to believe. That doesn't really make it true all the time, but yeah, we all have beliefs in something, whether we know it or not. We all have beliefs in what ways things work and what ways don't. And so you can believe a certain thing, but that doesn't make it true. The truth is the truth, and so that's one of the reasons why I like the truth, is because it's a factual generalization about reality to some degree. We need generalizations. We need some kind of generalization to understand what is what. Because obviously who is who you can't really make a generalization based off of who is who. You can make a generalization off of what is what, but not who is who. But the reason that a lot of people choose to believe in falsehoods and delusions is oftentimes because they don't know how to look in the mirror and know their place. For example, at this new job that I got a few months ago, I was very well aware of my place as far as what I was at this job. Now, I knew I still know who I am, but at the time, I knew who I was when I got this position. I knew who I was, but I also knew that I had a lot to learn, and I still have a lot to learn. And I know that these people that I'm working with are far more experienced, and it's nice to be working with high IQ people. I mean, that's what I wanted. And so these people are reasonably and fairly intelligent, and it's a nice route to take for me personally, even though I still don't like to talk too much to them. I keep it professional. But, you know, minding the business that pays you is really something that is important. But I'm well aware of where I'm at in this position. Sure, I know a lot about life, and I know a lot about my experiences, and I have a lot of things to offer outside of this job. But as far as the job itself goes, I don't know a lot. So I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to learn. And a lot of these people out here are not willing to listen. They're not willing to learn. They think they know everything. And yet they are worshipers of the flesh and material things. And they are stuck. As much as it can hurt to look at the truth and to see that, you know, they may want you in their life, but it's only because they want to know what you're about. Like, that was a comment in one of my recent videos that I think was a very brilliant comment. It said something like, they only want to talk to you so that they can talk about you. Shout out to that commenter. That was a really, really profound quote. And so, yeah, they are infatuated with your potential. They don't necessarily like you for who you are. They are more interested in what you are. And preferably, I would say all of the healthier relationships that I've had, they've always leaned more toward who I was first and who I could become, opposed to what I am and the situation that I can provide. So, because because at the end of the day, it's your conversations and the way that you talk, the way that you move in the world, how you interact. That's what's going to be important. That's what's going to be life-changing. It's not necessarily the situation you bring, although that can be a factor. But it's very childish and it's very immature to want people only for what they can provide for you. To an extent. And honestly, with a lot of the people that I'm around in my day-to-day life, you know, they are intelligent and they know what they're doing as far as the job is concerned, you know, and that's all fine and dandy. But in my like day-to-day, going to the coffee shops or going to the store or the gym, I'm very unimpressed with the way people live their life. And I don't get the hype around certain people. Like, there was this situation where last week there was a bunch of people talking to each other and they seemed like they were having a really good time and such. And then, you know, this week I start hearing a conversation with a couple of the people that were in that group talking and just making a bunch of ruckus and, you know, being loud. And I just thought, that's it? That's what all the hype was about? You can't tell me anything. You can't tell me nothing. You know, there's that song, it's like, you got me fucked up. It's like, damn, that's all you got? For all the hype, I expected more. And I try not to live a life with expectations, but sometimes when there's just that kind of commotion around certain people that have that kind of energy, you're like, wow, there's this really charismatic person. Then you start to talk to them and you're like, wow, you're actually not at all what I thought you were and what you portrayed yourself to be. Huh. And that happens more and more as I get older. I'm only 26, and yet I'm very well aware that most people just aren't all they're cracked up to be. I'm fairly chill. I don't have a lot of resentment for anybody, even if they did me wrong in the past. Like, I don't hold that resentment anymore. Do I still like to look at it? No. I mean, I don't like to look at that kind of stuff. I don't like to look at the malevolence that was done to me. I don't think anybody likes that. But I accept it, and I'm chill about it, and I don't hold resentment over it. And so when you just move about in the world, chill, humble, or just sticking to what you need to do, giving respect to get respect. And then people treat you, sometimes, the immature at least, the immature people treat you as if your giving respect is almost like wimpy or something. And it's not that at all. Not that at all. It's like, no, you're actually just immature. You're not an adult. You're actually an entitled brat. And the truth has come out. And I'm going to teach you a lesson about reality. Sit down. Daddy's got a story for you. Not everybody deserves you. Not everybody deserves to be around you all the time. And so you have to be very careful on who and what you are doing and spending your time around. Because if they want to play that kind of game, I'll show them the reality of their game. And they will keep digging themselves a deeper hole, not even knowing it, until it is too late. So, with that being said, I hope this message was insightful and useful to the people out there. And I also want to encourage you to keep going and keep moving forward, and to keep having that zero tolerance policy with idiots, because the idiocy in this world today is truly remarkable. It is truly remarkable to look out into the world and see how idiocy has been almost pedestalized, and infantilism of the spirit is almost over-glorified as well. So, peace be with you. Till next time.